Hello, my name is Sarai, and in this video I will reflect on my experience in this class, especially on the process of reading a book throughout the semester and learning English through literature. At the beginning of the course, I was curious about how literature could help me improve my English. Usually, when we think about English, learning a language, we focus on grammar, exercises, vocabulary lists, or speaking activities. However, this class showed me that literature can also be a powerful tool for language learning. Reading a complete book throughout the semester was a different experience from what I was used to. At the first, I thought it would be difficult because literary texts often contain unfamiliar vocabulary, figurative language, and cultural references. Sometimes I had to reread certain parts of or look up new words to understand the meaning better. Although this required extra effort, it also helped me become a more independent reader. One of the most valuable aspects of this experience was the opportunity to learn vocabulary in context. Instead of memorizing isolated words, I was able to see how language is naturally used by the author and the characters. This made it easier to remember new expressions and understand how they can be used in real situations. Another benefit was the improvement of my reading comprehension skills. As the story progressed, I learned to identify important details, analyze characters, understand themes, and make predictions about what would happen next. These skills are not only used for literature classes but also for academic reading in general. I also noticed that reading literature exposed me to different writing styles and sentences structure. This helped me become more aware of how English works beyond the grammar rules we should study. Seeing authentic language in meaningful context allowed me to develop deeper understanding of the language. In addition, literature encouraged me to think critically. While reading, I often reflect on the characters' decisions, the conflicts they faced, and the messages conveyed by the story. Sometimes I agree with the characters, and other times I question their actions, and these processes of analysis help me develop critical thinking skills when practicing English. Another important aspect was the emotional connection that literature can create. Unlike traditional learning materials, stories allow readers to connect with the characters and situations. This made the learning experience more engaging and memorable. When I became interested in the story, I felt more motivated to continue reading and learning. Throughout the semester, I also gained a great appreciation for literature as a teaching tool. Before this class, I mainly view literature as something to analyze academically. However, now I understand that it can also be support language development in many ways, including vocabulary acquisition, reading comprehension, cultural awareness, and critical thinking. As a future English teacher, this experience was particularly meaningful. It helped me see how literature can be incorporated into language classrooms to create meaningful learning opportunities. The students can learn grammar and vocabulary while also developing creativity, empathy, and analytical skills through stories. Of course, there were some challenges during the semester. There were moments when the reading felt demanding, especially when I encountered difficult vocabulary or complex passages. However, overcoming these challenges helped me become more confident in my abilities as an English learner and future English teacher, of course. By the end of the course, I felt more comfortable reading authentic texts in English also. Overall, my experience in this class was positive and enriching. Reading a book throughout the semester allowed me to improve my English skills while discovering the educational value of literature. I learned that language learning is not only about studying rules but also about engaging with meaningful texts and ideas. In conclusion, this course helped me develop as both a language learning and future teacher. It showed me that literature can be an effective and enjoyable way to learn English, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to explore language through literature, and I will definitely apply many of these ideas in my future teaching practice. Thank you for listening.